Hey everyone! How is everybody doing? This is day 2 of Project Bighani's online workshop. All right, so I'd like to welcome everyone to, again, this is day 2 of Project Bighani online workshop. And to introduce myself, I am Danny Mortel. I will be your host for today, but I'm also a TV commercial model and a transformation coach. But today, we're not going to work out like yesterday. I told them, don't worry guys, di tayo mag-work out today. So chill lang kayo dyan. I hope you guys are comfortable in your homes right now or wherever you're watching this from. I hope that you guys are excited to learn again today. This is day 2. Yesterday was a very interesting conversation with Masungi G Reserve and Andy Eigenman, and we learned a lot from that conversation we had yesterday with them. But today is going to be as exciting and as joyful as our conversation yesterday. And to start off our day 2 of Project Bighani online workshop, let us hear a few words from AG Constantino, marketing manager of Power Max Center, about how Project Bighani was created and what it is about. AG?
Thanks, Danny. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Project Bighani by Power Max Center. So we started this activity because we know that there are people like you, Apple enthusiasts who care for the environment. So thank you for choosing to be with us today. And if you were here yesterday, I hope you win some raffle prizes today if you weren't able to yesterday. We also created this initiative because we wanted to see the beauty of our local destinations, even when we're on lockdown. So we figured, why not encourage everyone to showcase their hometown? And we're sure that wherever it may be, meron pa rin bighani yung lugar na at home ka. And there's no better way of capturing the beauty of your hometown than using an iPhone. Yeah, so medyo product placement. Yes, it's the most loved camera in the world, which you have a chance to win if you enter the Hometown Glory Contest. More on that later. But for now, I'm excited to learn with you from our guests today. So thank you and welcome to the second day of Project Bighani online workshops.
Thank you so much, AG. I really, really relate to that. I agree. There should be bighani. Dapat may bighani kung nasaan ka man. And as long as you are at home, as long as you keep your eyes open, meron at merong bighani. Thank you so much, AG. All right, at this point, I just want to share with you guys some major components of Project Bighani. Na-mention nga ni AG kanina about Hometown Glory. Now, Hometown Glory is actually an online vertical storytelling contest that showcases the beauty of one's hometown. And you guys still have until June 15, 2021, and you might be the lucky winner of an iPhone 12 Pro Max or a MacBook Air M1. O, diba guys? Again, until June 15 po, ang Hometown Glory. The next component naman is Pass It On. This one is a support drive that aims to protect, preserve, and restore beautiful communities in the country. And this initiative is in partnership with Masungi G Reserve, Save Philippine Seas, and Strays Worth Saving. Now, with every purchase of any participating product, a percentage of sales goes to a mission in support of their advocacies. Together, let's give nature a helping hand and protect its beauty. Now, guys, all right, the next component, the third component of Project Bighani is ito, online workshop. Now, this is a 2-part series which already started yesterday with our brand ambassadors. Yesterday, we had Andy Eigenman, and today we have Kyle Jennerman. And of course, this is also in participation of our partner organizations, Masungi G Reserve, Save Philippine Seas, and Strays Worth Saving. All right, I hope you guys are super duper excited for day 2. I am very, very much excited. And now that we know what Project Bighani is about, it's now time to get to know our partner organizations. First up, we have Save Philippine Seas. Now, Save Philippine Seas is a nonprofit organization that aims to protect and conserve coastal and marine resources by empowering citizens. If you guys know how to type that, to spell that out, please type it in the chat box right now. Citizens, for collective action and behavior change. Now, their projects focus on shark conservation, waste management, and environmental education. And here to discuss how to save the seas in the comfort of your own homes is Ina Salazar. Now, Ina works as a primary school teacher at Xavier School New Valley, and she's been working co-designing and managing projects with Save Philippine Seas to champion ocean literacy since 2016. Let's all give it up for Ina Salazar. Hey, Ina.
Hi everyone. Now
Hey, Ina.
you see
How are
I'm a
you?
teacher. Hi Danny. So you told everyone that I'm a teacher, no?
Yeah.
I'm sure that they can expect a little bit of recitation later on. Is that okay? Would that be okay if I'll be asking everyone to answer something in the chat box or maybe recite something? Okay. So, hi everyone. I'm Ina Salazar and I am the Environmental Education Specialist on Save Philippine Seas. And today we'll be discussing a little bit on how you can save the seas from the comfort of your home. So, if you're with me right now, can you give me a little bit of thumbs up? Can you use the reaction button and give me a thumbs up if you're listening to me? So, I can see Agatha is giving me a thumbs up and Danny, Dan, Gerald. Okay, everyone is here and ready to listen. So I think Danny has generously given me a little bit of introduction, but I would like to reiterate that my name is Ina and I teach tiny human beings. By tiny, not really like babies, but I handle grade 2 classes in Xavier School Novali and I teach them different subjects. But for today, I will be dealing with different people from diverse background. I heard we have someone from different countries like Tokyo, Japan, and different cities in the Philippines. So I hope you learn a thing or two from my discussion this afternoon. So just to give you a brief background of what's SPS is. So Save Philippine Seas is a nonprofit organization. Basically, our goal is to bridge the gap between the scientists and the general public who do not know a lot about our environment. We believe on, or we do not preach the choir, rather we build one towards a collective action and behavioral change. Now, our advocacy can be summarized into 3 pillars. We want to engage not just individuals, but the government, the businesses, the schools and NGOs, businesses like PowerMac, and individuals like you guys, and educate communities on the value of protecting the marine resources. And like what you typed in the chat box, we want to empower you, citizens, to take action for conservation and restoration. And for today, I don't want to get all teacher energy. I don't want to give off the teacher energy, but I summarized my discussion points into 3, and we'll be having it on different levels. So we'll start with the level 1 from your seat, level 2 from your home, and the level 3 from your community. Now, let's start with the first truth about our country. It's not a very good truth, but Philippines is known, or we are facing a solid waste management crisis. After being known as the 3rd plastic or biggest plastic dumper in our ocean, we're next to China and Indonesia, we found ourselves swimming into the waste that we just created. And as COVID-19 cases in the country continue to surge, so does the amount of waste, bringing to light another challenge in the Philippines' battle against the pandemic. Around 52,000 metric tons of hospital waste have been so far generated amidst this health crisis. To put that into perspective, that's over 2 million sacks of rice, with one sack containing 25 kilograms. That's a lot. I don't want to do math, but that's a lot, right? And we should start to rethink about the phrase throw away, because there's no such thing as a way. We are making more stuff that we can recover and recycle. Our country lacks the infrastructure and political will to manage our waste. And pollution harms the terrestrial and marine wildlife. So when we start to think about it, there's no such thing as a way. And while all this is happening, lifestyle changes depend on the context, the resources, and the current capacity. We cannot just impose to everyone to not use plastic, to manage their waste, because it depends upon context. But unlike the trash that we generate, no effort is ever wasted. So let's start with level 1. What can you do from your seat? So I want to touch base with everyone. Who among you ordered something online last week or even a month ago? Can you just give me a thumbs up? Oh, okay. People are raising their hands. Okay, giving me a thumbs up. Who among you have their own online boodle? Because 6/6 sale just happened, right? And you all have, or you all managed to buy something on Shopee. Okay. Okay. No need to share the links of your online boodle. I'm not here to police you or anything. Okay. How about who among you? What else? So I asked you if you ordered. Oh, who among you ordered something from their favorite restaurant from last week? Like last week. Okay. So everyone, thank you very much for your honesty and participation. So let's see how we can reframe our thoughts, and let's see how we can do something from our seat. Now, first thing we have to do is you have to follow thought leaders, read credible journalism sites and books, listen to podcasts, and watch webinars and documentaries. So I know everyone has been browsing something online. Did you watch anything from Netflix? Did you hear some amazing podcasts from Spotify? Continue to learn. I'm not a big believer of experts, because for me, every one of us here, we're all learners. We're all learners of life. So when someone say, "Oh, I'm an expert in this field," it's kind of hard to believe, because we have to continue learning, and there's always something new to learn every time, right? Next one is you have to go outside your echo chamber. Follow your curiosity and find resources that challenges your idea, not those contents that just agrees with you, right? So if you continue to do that, there's no growth in that. So continue to look for something that challenges you. And as I mentioned a while ago, although payday sales are tempting, ask yourself and reflect. So this is the time that I will become your conscience. Do I need to have this? Do I want to have this? Can I borrow one from my friend instead? Or maybe go to a thrift store. There's always a reason to ask yourself before you add to cart. Though you can add to cart, you can like it, but don't check out. Or don't check out right away. Allow yourself to reflect if you need to have those materials right away. Buy pre-loved items or swap with others. There are lots of online shops like Rewear _ space, the Ukay Ukay. My mom is a big fan of Ukay Ukay. She can stay there for half a day looking for good finds. Facebook groups that declutter or swap. There's Anthill Reweave program and fashion content creators, because for them, secondhand will always be in style. And if you're ordering food, I know you notice this on your Food Panda, your Grab Food, you can turn off and request the removal or of disposables, or order from a small or nearby businesses to support the local economy and decrease your carbon footprint. So these are just few things that you can do from your seat. Do you agree? Can you give me a heart reaction if you agree? Or if you can do that? So Agatha just gave me Dance, Neil, Rian, and Danny. Okay, so I hope you do that the next time you order or you add to cart. Ask yourself, do I need this? Okay, be your own conscience, or think about when I say it to you, right? So the next one, I think we're gonna level up to level 2. So a while ago, I discussed with you the things that you can do from your seed. Now, let's discuss, or let me give you the list of things that you can do from your home. So a little bit of story. I'm not a great cook. When I stay in my apartment in Santa Rosa, I don't cook. If I cook an egg, that will be my I'm a champion for the day. Okay. So it's really a challenge for me. That's why I try to look for things on the internet, because you can find everything on the internet, right? Like how to cook adobo or how to cook sinigang. So YouTube videos will come and go, things like that. Now, the thing that you can do from home is, well, you can cook at home. Cooking most of your meals at home will reduce disposable packaging from takeout and deliveries. So when I'm staying in my own apartment, I spend like 300, 200 per meal. But if I cook my own food, I will spend like 200 for the whole day. So imagine the amount of money that you will save. Oh no, am I sounding like your mom? I'm sorry for that. but yeah, if we're going to think about it, there's a lot of money that we can save just by cooking. Or making meal plans. Create a meal plan to reduce food waste, save money, and of course, save your time. And this one, I think the Filipinos will have to agree with me that by taking shorter showers, you can save the world. But please take showers, like take a bath, Okay, by subtracting 1 minute from your bath time, you can save more than 500 gallons of water a year. Turn off the shower while you're soaping or shampooing or having a concert in your own bathroom, Ideal shower time should be 5 to 7 minutes. That's why if my friends say, I'm just going to take the shower for 30 minutes, I ask them, what do you do there? Do you like have a concert or something? Do you reflect on your life? Okay. Because I don't get why you have to spend like 30 to 45 minutes in the shower. Okay. But us Filipinos, we have a thing here. We use our own tabo. Are you a member of Home Buddies? Is anyone here a member of Home Buddies? There's a tabo there that costs 1.6. My mom would just hit me with it. It's 1.6 really, but our tabo is just like 20 pesos from Divisoria, right? Danny's just yes. Okay. So as Filipino, we have a hack for this and we have our own tabo. And you can save energy by turning off lights. I think this is very elementary. You can save energy, but by turning off lights. But some of us are victims of this. We let our appliances to be plugged. But did you know that plugged appliances, even if they're off, still consumes electricity and energy? This can result into 5 to 10% of your savings. So if you're really mindful of your appliances, that's 10% off with your Meralco bill. That's a lot, right? So again, mom, okay, I might be sounding like a mom. So that's something that you can save as well. And although I'm not doing this, to be honest, but some of us have switched to menstrual cup or reusable napkins. There's a learning curve, but sure, it's a life-saving or it's a life-changing decision. So some of you, is anyone using a menstrual cup here? So you can save like lots of plastics if you switch to menstrual cups. Oops. Okay, and this is something that I did since 2019. You take stock of your waste so that you can assess what to reduce. By 2019, I realized that I have lots of waste coming from takeouts and deliveries. So that's the reason why I adjusted my lifestyle and slowly transitioned to cooking at home so that I can assess what kind of waste I need to reduce. And here in SPS, we have something called Saving the Nation Through Segregation. It's like a campaign poster you have when you're elementary, right? So you have 3 main groups of the waste that you produce. You have your recyclable, you have your non-recyclable or your residuals, and of course, your compostable. Okay, pop quiz. I hope you have your typing fingers ready. Where do you think will paper fall? Is it recyclable, non-recyclable, or compostable? I'll give you 5 seconds to type in the chat box. Where would paper fall? Wow, I have very active students like April. Okay, love it. Okay, very good. Now let me proceed to the groupings. Oh, last one. Last one. Your animal or your pet's poop, where will it fall? Is it recyclable, non-recyclable, or compostable? Wow. Wow, very good. I'll give you a star, Cecil and Princess. Stars for you. Ren's very active. Okay. Now, just to give you a review, or just to say the least, the final destinations of our waste, well, it goes straight to Mother Earth, right? I've said it a while ago that there's no such thing as a way, right? Now, when you say recyclable, these are your papers, your glass, your metals, and your plastics, or these are the waste that can still be converted into other purposes. So you can either recycle them or upcycle them, okay? And when you say residual, it's any material that can no longer be used for any other purposes or are difficult to recycle. The beverage cartons are hard to recycle because it's made out of paper and then plastic, so it's really hard to recycle them. That's why it falls under residuals. Your cigarette butts, your laminated cups and plates, the diapers, sanitary napkins, and mixed materials, food packaging, those are all for disposal. Even your rice sacks, your toothpaste tubes, the cotton swabs, the pen, styrofoam, and even wax papers, these are all for disposal. And of course, we have special waste like the hazardous waste, your batteries, and the wires, the bulky waste, and healthcare waste. That's why I've mentioned a while ago that we have a growing problem here in the Philippines because of the pandemic, because disposable masks and PPEs should be handled as special waste, but it's not always possible, right? When you dispose a disposable mask, it should be wrapped in paper and discarded in a close yet separate bins. That's also to protect our garbage collectors, right? And the compostables, we have your kitchen waste, the garden waste, agri waste, and livestock waste. But Ina, it's hard to place these in a compost, especially if you're living in a city. So Loop Store has this bin wherein you can put all your compostable there and do a compost even though you're in the city, because it's really I can imagine how hard it is to do composting in the city compared to as you are composting here in the province. So you can just save a space in your own garden, right? Now let's level up. So we're done with from the seats. We're done from our home. Let's talk about the things that you can do from your own community. So I heard that we have a lot of people living in the province, in different countries. Okay, let's try to see what you can do from your own community. Okay, have you heard of that BYOB? So you can bring your own bag, bring your own bottle, bring your own everything. So usually when I'm hanging out with my friends, I bring a big bag, and they will ask me, oh, dala mo na naman yung bahay mo. You bring your house na naman. But in my bag, you can find there my tumbler, my mug, my spoon, and my fork, just for me to bring my own reusables. And we have to mainstream refilling. So for food and beverages, you can bring your own container, but there was a time that Starbucks and Coffee Bean do not allow you to use your own mug because of the virus. But I hope in time we can do that again. And for home care, you clean your container and use the same bottle or variant. Human Nature did this. They set up a small booth in malls where you can refill your own shampoo, your own dishwashing liquid. So that's totally awesome. And if possible, buy in bulk. I might sound as a mom again and tell you that you can save a lot if you buy in bulk. Okay, buying in bulk reduces the packaging waste, of course, and it will save you a couple of coins or cash if you buy a lot. And you have to support sustainability efforts by corporations. You know, even the big corporations, they need some validation and encouragement too. That's why I'm really proud of Power Mac. Because if you think of Power Mac, right, Power Mac Center, their focus on the focus is on gadgets, things like that. And it's really a step forward for them to feature organizations such as Save Philippine Seas and educate the public or educate their customers about the things that they can support. So good job. So send the heart to Power Mac Center because they're doing their best to inform a lot of people to support sustainability efforts. Waste might be unavoidable, but we can support companies that take responsibilities for their waste or support waste aggregators. Who are these companies? Like, for example, Kale's Recycle and Be Rewarded program, Love Beauty Planet. Their plastic or their bottles are made of recycled materials. Garnier, although the rules change regularly because of the pandemic, so you have to check in with their social media accounts on how to bring or how to do their programs. Other waste aggregators that is available in the city are Green Ants, My Basurero, Plastic Credit Exchange, the Plastic Flamingo, and Humble Sustainability. So I encourage you to search them on your Instagram page to check about how you can dispose of the products that you have with you right now. So maybe 10 seconds to go on your Instagram page to check how Green Ants does it or how My Basurero does it. And just like what I've mentioned, support existing campaigns. Public opinion, like what you have, matters. It matters a lot. Like, say, for example, when we wrote to Shopee and Lazada that it's time to reveal, reduce, and redesign for Lazada and Shopee, I think there are lots of plastics being generated by this company, and they have to take accountability for it. So you can support by actually signing in to different advocacies or different movements wherein you can support this claim. And of course, Food and Drug Administration here in the Philippines, that they have to mainstream refilling, because the one that Human Nature did and Unilever did pre-pandemic, it's still not approved because FDA requires a lot of things. And this is also very important. I think we should stop global whining and reach out to people in authority. Write letters to the leaders. You might not know how your barangay officials, your city mayor can commit to conservation if you write to them. A beautiful story of how SPS started is when Anna messaged or wrote a letter to a senator that actually grant her the opportunity to talk to the Senate about shark conservation. And although this is a beautiful thing, calling out people might be difficult, right? So instead of calling out, call people in. Hold your institutions accountable, but be kind and constructive. Always remember that there's always a kinder way to do things. And influence other by example, but don't be annoying. Don't keep repeating or don't keep repeating yourself. Being passionate about a cause is great, but being self-righteous is not. You have to lead by example. When gifting, you can gift reusable items and show the benefits of small acts that can inspire others, right? And in Save Philippine Seas, what we say is we aim for progress and not perfection. We rather have 1 million people doing sustainability practices imperfectly other than one person doing it perfectly, right? So if you're doing something that I've mentioned, a while ago. Thank you very much. You're actually with us with our conservation efforts. And if you want to know more, I hope you make waves with us. Connect with us on our social media pages. Read more about how you can save the Philippine seas through our website, or write letters to us on how we can work together. And that's it. Thank you very much for listening. And I hope you continue saving the seas from your home, or from your seat, from your home, and from your community. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ina. Thank you so much. We really picked up a lot from that. But at this point, we'd like to open the chat box. Oh, open the chat box.
Wow.
For questions. Okay, guys? You've been, grabe, ang active ng mga audience, ng audience natin today. And I think it's really because your talk was very engaging as well. So, guys, if you have any questions for Ina, please type them in to the chat box right now. Okay? There you go. But I just wanted to say that I really, really admire Save Philippine Seas for, for this initiative. And I love that you're aiming for progress, not perfection. Because as individuals, as humans, we kind of tend to to be intimidated. Pagka sinabi sa'yo, you have to save the environment by da. Tapos parang ikaw, but how? This is what I'm used to. Like, what do I do first, But Ina clearly presented to us that there are a lot of ways, and simple ways at that. Diba? By just being a learner, following your curiosity, and ito, I love this, looking for things that challenge you, because like I said kanina, we can be used to certain things, but then if we're used to it na, parang at a certain level, parang what's next? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we need that. Oh, okay, let's challenge ourselves.
And Danny, you cannot grow in your comfort zone, right? So you have to continue challenging yourself.
That's true. That's true. And yun nga sinabi mo, be aware of your purchases. I think we can all relate to this because, we can't really go to the mall and, shop. But even when we can go to the mall now, we still have to keep this in mind, right? So ang dami nag-share na, they order from, these online shops. And just by being aware of, okay, do I need this? Do I really need this? Can I borrow from a friend? That really goes a long way already. Ayan. Okay, so we have some questions. Okay, from Hannah. What can content creators or YouTubers do to help out your cause? So Hannah asks, if anybody here is a content creator, or I'm sure a lot of audience members are, what can they do to help your cause daw?
That's a very good question. Thank you, Hannah, for thinking about Save Philippine Seas. Well, it goes a long way to talk to your audience about your journey to transitioning from, it's hard to go from a lot of waste to zero waste, right? But to actually show them that it's possible, to show them realistically that, of course, sometimes we feel lighter if we purchase something online. Just like what I said a while ago, you can't do sustainability perfectly. Okay. So what you can do as contents, how you do segregation, where to bring it, because a lot of people are always ask us that, how or where should we bring our waste. I presented a while ago the list of Facebook groups and Facebook pages that you can check. So maybe you can do contents on that, like how or what is the process on how to segregate from your home to the segregation facility. Is that a good content?
I think, I really, you know what? I thought of that before. I really, kasi I came from, just a little bit of background also, Ina. I came from a school where we were taught this talaga. It's a non-traditional school, and we were taught at a very young age to reuse, reduce, and recycle. And now upcycle na, diba? So, but in high school, it was just, I went to a traditional school now. So I think it's also a very important thing to put in that conversation na it also starts in educating. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, if you are an auntie like me, or as Ina says, if you're like moms, if you're moms like us, like keeping people watch, then you can. Sorry, can I? Okay, I will just. I'm just reminding everyone to please keep yourselves muted. Thank you so much, so that we can avoid reverbs and echoes. But yeah, what I was saying is you can also, bring this information to other people, and by sharing this type of content on your platforms, and that will educate a lot, diba? So I think that's the root of it. Okay, from Zoila, we have a question from Zoila.
Yeah.
Don't you think the first step to saving the seas is to stop eating fish? We take megatons of fish every day for human consumption. What do you think of this, Ina?
Yeah, I read. I think she also mentioned how the were mega harassing our ocean because of the consumption of fish. In my opinion, I think it's part of the balance of the ecosystem that we consume fish, right? But did you like? I've been noticing in the news how our fish also consume or also have plastic in it. So
Yeah.
it's really bothering. Although what I've mentioned a while ago, you cannot impose on a specific lifestyle for all Filipinos, right? We cannot say to all Filipinos like, don't eat fish, or it's not safe to eat fish, or you're damaging the environment if you eat fish. The more we do that, the more we do not call people in. The more we call out Filipinos, since it's part of our culture, the more we cannot bring them to the cause. So in your question of actually tagging it as the first step to saving the seas, to stop eating fish, I think the first step is more on, just like what Danny mentioned a while ago, it's more on educating and regulating our consumption. Not totally not eating it, but regulating what we consume.
That's true. No, as a vegetarian myself, actually, this question has been asked a lot of times to me. Parang sabi nila, why are you vegetarian? Meat is so good, blah, 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 blah. It's a personal choice, but I don't go out there and tell all my friends, hey, you should stop eating that. You shouldn't eat animals. I don't do that because personally, I believe that people will notice what you're doing, and then when they see that you're feeling good, number one, and then they notice why you're doing it, eventually a curiosity will spark naman diba? Parang as long as you're doing what you want to do, you're doing what you want to do in a way that you're not stepping in other people, I think that will go a long way then naman, diba? So, and I think in terms of like, what we say, okay, we're an archipelago, there's a lot of fish around us and stuff, but if you notice our Filipino dishes, ang daming vegetables.
Correct.
Right? So, sinigang, ang daming mga dishes na laging may vegetables. So, I think, we can take a step slowly to that, towards that. But yun nga, sabi ni Ina, I think it's about being kind. Because as a vegetarian, again, myself, that is what it is about. Being compassionate towards animals, yes, but being compassionate towards us humans first, diba? So, yon. Okay.
We should find the balance.
Yes.
And it's hard.
Right.
It's a process. And you should forgive yourself. Say, for example, oh no, I consumed a lot of plastic. You should forgive yourself in the process. But it always goes down to being mindful and, of course, being kind.
Yes, that's true. Okay, we have one more question. We have time for one or two more questions. Sure. From Anna Maria, she says, we can segregate all we want, but the garbage collectors lump them all together, negating our efforts. How to solve this, do you think? Sabi ni Anna Maria.
Again. Can you repeat the question?
Okay, Anna Maria says, we can segregate all we want, but the garbage collectors lump them all together. Yeah. So that sort of negates the efforts daw. So how do you think we can solve this problem?
Yeah, that's why our garbage collectors, I think they have a schedule for collecting. Like, say, for example, you can just give them garbage which is biodegradable. I think that's how they collect garbage. Like every Tuesday, that's biodegradable. Every Saturday, that's non-biodegradable. At least for my village, that's how they do it. But again, I suggest that if you're segregating like the recyclables, you can bring it to the different organizations that I've mentioned a while ago. But the residuals, you can throw them with the garbage collectors. Kasi it's different. It's different for every city. That's what I noticed.
Yeah, but also like Ina mentioned a while ago, maybe if we see this problem, then we can write to our
Yeah.
local government units, diba, our
Correct.
politicians, to maybe notice that there is a problem in that. And I think malaki talaga yung problem in terms of the collecting garbage area, because you know what I mean. It's also economy, political economy. There's a lot that goes on with it also. So yeah, thank you so much for that question to everybody who asked Ina some questions. If you have any more questions, please feel free to visit Save Philippine Seas. They're on their website and also on all their social media platforms. All right. Thank you so much, Ina. Please type in thank you, Ina, in the chat box if you appreciated her presentation and everything that she shared
Thank
with us.
you.
Ayan. Thank you so much, Ina. Thank you
Thank
for
you,
that
Danny. Thank you,
super informative
everyone.
talk. All right. At this point, it is now time to get to know our next partner organization. Our next one is Strays Worth Saving. Now, Strays Worth Saving began from one person's simple act of rescuing a handful of strays and making sure that they are fit for adoption. But after seeing the joy on their faces, of course, it's super hard to stop, diba? So the organization's main goal is actually to have a stray-free country. Can you just picture that in your mind right now? A stray-free country. And they will be doing this by rescuing and helping stray animals, especially those in pain and in need of immediate attention, and getting them adopted into a loving home. And here to talk about wilderness preservation and reduction of human impact on the environment is Bill Cosare. Now, Bill is a graduate of agricultural engineering, and he is currently the International Sales Director of Greenfield Development Corporation. He also advocates for animal welfare and zero waste and sustainable living. Let's all welcome Bill Cosare. Hi, Bill.
Hi, Danny. Thank you so much. Are you seeing me now?
Yes, we can hear you. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm kind of excited to share this slide. Hello.
And there you go. And we're super excited to hear from you as well. So, Bill, take it away.
Thank you so much, Danny, for your for the introduction. No? And let's congratulate Ina for that wonderful sharing of her advocacy. No, so with us naman here, let me just share my screen. So this afternoon, we're going to be talking about wilderness preservation and reduction of human impact on the environment. So, just like what Ina mentioned later, kanina, no? So, parang continuation siya ng discussion natin. So, we're going to talk about wilderness. So, what is wilderness? In a modern world, no, it's a name given to the most pristine wildlands left on Earth. It is a type of protection granted within national parks, forests, and in areas where no roads or development are allowed. So, sa Philippines, meron naman tayo, but of course, we need to protect it kasi syempre, paubos ng paubos, nakikita nyo naman yung most ng mga problem natin. We have some erosion, we have some landslide in the past few years. So, we need to protect our wilderness. Why wilderness preservation is important? Wilderness preservation is important because it will provide long-term protection to the last of our nation's wild landscapes, places that possesses spectacular beauty, offer outstanding solitude, support native plants and animals, protect valuable water resources, shelter ancient cultural artifacts, provide opportunities for primitive recreation, and maintain resiliency in the face of global climate change. So with this, no, it's very important because the nature is degrading, the environment is degrading already. So we need to do our part as a person, as a living person, a human being here in Earth. So as what Ina mentioned din kanina, so it's a collaboration between us and the nature as well. So much. So there are 6 reasons now we need to preserve the wilderness. Now, first is to protect the ancestral lands and cultures of indigenous people. As people know that many of our indigenous friends and brothers and sisters are protecting these ancestral lands. So it's very important to preserve as well certain species of plants and animals that would otherwise become extinct due to human development. So the more we develop these protected areas, no, uh, these animals na very endangered na ngayon, nawawala sila. So they kept on dying, kumukonti na lang sila. So that we can observe the night sky, the stars and planets, and the Milky Way in their in full splendor as well. So of course, it helps us to give a good view with what nature can give us. I think my slide is... Yan. Next one of the reasons as well is provide humans with a way to reconnect with nature and escape the hectic rush of modern world. So tayo dito nasa Metro Manila ngayon, no? So if we don't have a place to escape from of our busyness, sa pagkapagod natin with our work, so we really need to go to some place. That's why it's very important. Sino ba dito ang nagta-travel sa mga provinces? Can you raise your hand? Anong favorite na places yung pinupuntahan dito sa Philippines? Ayan, mga participants natin.
Ayan, ang dami nagta-type in.
Yeah, that's good, no? So ano mga favorite nyo na pinupuntahan? You can type it in our chat box.
Beaches.
Oh,
Bohol,
nice.
Dagat, Cebu,
That's
Rizal
good.
Province.
That's
yes.
good. Ayun. So it helps us no to relieve the stresses that what we are experiencing from work, and then the pollution as well, no, to keep away from the pollution. So wilderness filters and cleans the air we breathe and the water that we drink. So that's what I mentioned, no. It lessens the pollutions, no, ng mga sasakyan natin, ng mga factories. So na pollute yung environment natin. Wilderness areas ensure that we can leave a legacy of untouched wildlands for future generations of all species to enjoy. Of course, no, if you are looking forward na to let our children see what Mother Nature has to offer, we need to protect it right now. Tama naman, di ba? Next. So, as I know that some of you know this already, but we just want to share it again. No? Philippines is home to a large number of endemic species. It is more than 52,100 species described in the Philippines. More than half are found nowhere else in the world. So, sa mga viewers natin ngayon, no, can you type in the chat box kung ano yung mga species na sa Philippines lang nakikita? Except sa nakikita nyo ngayon sa screen, ha? Na tarsier. Yan, ano ba mga tinatype nila ngayon? Ayan, tamaraw, eagle, mouse deer. That's good. Agila, yeah. That's monkey-eating eagle. So those are a few of the animals na endangered ngayon na sa Philippines lang natin makikita. Thank you for sharing that, everyone. Ayan, sigbin. Sigbin. It's a Bisaya term, like I think sigbin, no?
I am not sure. Would you like to share that with us?
Yeah, sigbin is a Bisaya term, so I'm from Davao as well. So I know the term sigbin.
Okay. So it's among you guys.
Yeah, it's a mystic, it's a myth. No? Yeah,
okay.
mga one of the
Mythical
mga...
creature.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
mythical. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, mythical creature. Thank you for sharing, everyone, for all of that. And then, ayan, with this one naman, no, in our home, we can do as well, we can help as well to protect our environment. No? So these are some of the few stuff that you can do. And I know Ina mentioned it kanina na, but of course, I just want to share it again. To completely turn off the equipments like television and stereos na hindi natin ginagamit. Next one naman is choose energy efficient appliances and light bulbs. So may mga LED lights naman ngayon. So it lessens the use of electricity as well. Save water, na mention Ina kanina, no, na use tabo kasi we can really save water from it. Kasi para at least may magamit pa na for other stuff na important, the use of water natin ngayon. Lower your shades or close your curtains on hot days to keep the house cool. Syempre, if ever, no, if you're using aircon, syempre, it generates energy and then kumakain ng mataas na energy. So, of course, to help it lessen as well, so pwede nating i-open na lang yung mga windows natin para fresh air yung malalanghap natin. Let clothes dry naturally. So also, Kung meron man, alam ko meron ditong mga, we have some friends here na nag-review na who are using dryers. So if you have a space naman, you can dry your clothes naman naturally. So use a hanger na lang. Keep lids on pans when cooking to conserve energy. So one of the suggestions, no? Use rechargeable batteries. Call your local government to see if they have disposal location for used batteries, glass, plastic. So na-mention ni Ina kanina, no, yung reduce, reuse, and recycle, no, ng mga garbages natin. So it's very helpful. Don't use or throw away products like paper plates and napkins or plastic knives. So na-mention ni Ina kanina, no, na we use sa mga friends natin who uses menstrual cup. So it lessens the garbage, no, na mapoproduce ng bawat mga female counterparts natin. Send electronic greetings over email. So it's very trendy na ngayon, no, na before, like sa kapanahonan ko, like kapanahonan ko talaga yung ginamit ko, no. Like 15 years, 20 years ago, we send cards to greet, no. So ngayon, email na is very useful to us, and then at least e-greeting cards na lang ang ginagamit. And then when we water naman in our garden, so we can use naman the rains to collect water and then use it to water our plants. Water the garden early in the morning or late in the evening. So pag early in the morning kasi, hindi pa masyadong mainit yung air. So hindi nag-evaporate kaagad yung water na ginagamit natin in watering our plants, pati sa gabi. So yun, nakakonserve natin yung water. So hindi masyadong nakakaubos ng water. Explore water-efficient irrigation system. Sprinkler irrigations and drip irrigations can be adapted to garden situations. So if ever naman, you can use this if you are nearby the, for example, provinces. May mga nakikita ako from Davao, from Bukidnon here. So if you are using irrigation systems ng mga provinces natin, so it's very efficient naman, no, to lessen the consumption of water na lalo na mga potable waters natin. Make sure your garden lively. Plant trees and shrubs that will attract birds. You can also put up bird nest boxes with food. So at least we can help them, no? Kasi syempre, those animals are very helpful in the ecosystem. So na-mention ni Ina kanina. Put waste to work in your garden. Sweep the fallen leaves and flower into flower beds or under shrubs. So if ever yung mga biodegradable natin like banana na peel, yung mga balat ng mga mangoes natin or mga fruits, no, you can use it and use it for composting and then recycle it so that it can be used again. At least magiging mga plants natin will become ano ba tawag nito? I forgot the term, nasa dulo ng dila ko. So well cultivated sila. That's it. Plant local species of trees, flowers, and vegetables. Don't use chemicals in the garden as they will eventually end up in water systems. So yung mga pesticides na ginagamit natin in our plants or in our farms, nagdi-drain out yan doon sa soil. So even hindi na nakikita, it can go to the water system. So it will pollute the water and irrigation system of our of Mother Earth, no. So organic and environmentally friendly fertilizers and pesticides. So just like what I mentioned kanina, you can use an organic fertilizer, like do your own composting. So you can search it in Google, no. It's available now on how to do composts na at home. So you can try search Google and you can use it. And then this one, while shopping naman, no, it's very important, no, na we do help as well the reduction of the paper and the plastic waste. So we should bring as well our plastic bags if ever, our net bags. Ako myself, always bringing my net bag or the eco bag for for me to help the to lessen the waste, no, na pinoproduce ng mga consumers natin, no. So when buying fish, look out for a variety of non-endangered species and buy local fish if possible. So may mga fish tayo, no, sa dagat na if you are familiar with parrotfish, so I hope we should stop buying the parrotfish kasi it helps the seas natin, no, na mention. I'm very supportive with what Ina mentioned kanina, no, na uh, those species are helping us to have a great environment, no. But if we are keep on eating them, those type of fish specifically, uh, must we can destroy the seas and the environment faster. So like I mentioned, bring your own bags to the grocery and refuse the plastic bags that create so much waste. Look for products that have less packaging. So there you go. At work naman, no, of course, most of us now are at work at home. But of course, if ever we go back na to the normal, no, use printers that can print on both sides of the paper. Try look into this option when replacing old printers. Use the back of a draft or unwanted printout instead of notebooks. Even with a double-sided printer, there is likely to be plenty of spare paper to use. Kasi if we know, papers are made from trees, no? So the more paper na we're gonna use, the more trees ang kinakat. So if ever it it destroys the environment, no? So wala na ring tutulong sa atin to filter the pollution, to help filter the waste that produced by the machines, the cars, the manufacturing, etc. Always ask for a buy recycled paper if you can for your business stationery and to use in your printer. So if you have business here, we have as well a recycled papers na binibenta ngayon. So you can help it. You can help the company uh, that produces it, and also it gives ano as well. It gives good livelihood to those people na nag-produce doon. Switch off computer monitors, printers, and other equipment at the end of each day. Though in standby mode, they're still using power, and that adds to global warming. Always turn off your office light and computer monitor when you go out for lunch or into a meeting. Okay? So on holidays naman, if ever meron kayong mga suggestions dyan, you can type it in your chat box para at least we can add up for the conversation, no? Go on holiday during off-peak periods to prevent overstraining resources. And please also avoid crowds, especially ngayon, pandemic pa. So of course, we have to be socially distanced with other people. Find about places before you visit. So it's very important para at least we can know if these destinations are environmentally sensitive. So when I go travel, no, I really go to places na who are supporting environment na mga ano. For example, do recycling, and then even I go to the beaches, I pick up some plastics. So you can do that as well when you travel. Don't travel by air if you can avoid it because air travel uses up a large amount of fossil fuels and creates greenhouse gases. Another one, dispose of any rubbish responsibly. It can be hazardous to wildlife. Use public transport, cycle, or walk instead of using a car. So ngayon, as you can see in Metro Manila, there is a bike lane already. So it lessens the pollution. So if it's very near, if it's kaya to walk, you can walk it, no, to your destination. Use facilities and trips run by local people wherever possible. Don't be tempted to touch wildlife and disturbed habitats, whether on land, at the coast, or underwater. So we are very tempted, no, kasi we appreciate beautiful stuff. Most likely, when we appreciate it, we touch it, we want to feel it, no, kasi human beings are really parang may sense of parang accomplishment ba ang tawag doon? Parang na-feel mo siya na maganda siya. Of course, some beautiful things are just left unsaid or let it stay there and then appreciate it. No? Don't be careful what you choose to bring home as a holiday souvenir. Many species from coral and conch shells to elephants. So napapansin niyo, no, yung iba They do poaching. If you've known the elephant's ivory, so pinapatay sila para gamitin yung mga ivory noon para souvenir. So if ever no, we should educate people that these animals are important to the ecosystem and they have their own life. It can help us know na uh, to lessen those kind of activities if we do educate those people as well. And then, nasabi nga, di ba, we have a saying that leave footprints, di ba, instead of I forgot the saying, no? Parang leave leave everything but footprints. Ganon. Don't leave any rubbish at the beach. It can be very dangerous for the wildlife. Boats and jet skis create noise and chemical pollution that is very disturbing to wildlife. Don't keep the engine running unnecessarily. And then na-mention na rin kanina ni Ina, so it's just another additional discussion. No? Always use both sides of sheet of paper. Use email. So this is about reduce, reuse, and recycle. Use email to stay in touch, including cards rather than faxing or writing. So available pa ba ang fax machines ngayon? Parang hindi naman na yata, no? So share magazines with friends and pass them on to the doctor. I remember during my time before, if you still remember, if yung mga comics or we rent, no, instead of printing a lot, if those of you who experienced renting comics before, magazines, so please raise your right hand. Please give a thumbs up, no, sa chat room natin, sa chat, ayan, window. And then, so we rent magazines to read lang and then leave it there, and then some people are gonna read it again, for rent. Like it's like 5 pesos per magazine or 5 comic books before. Use recyclable paper to make invitation cards, so envelopes, letter, pass, etc. if you can. Use washable nappies instead of disposable if you can. Recycle as much as you can. Give unwanted clothes, toys, and books to charities and orphanage. So we are, di ba, Philippines experience a lot of disasters like landslides, flooding. So if we have extra clothes, no, if we have a lot of spare clothes, I hope we can help those charities and orphanages, no, na to donate those extra clothes that we have. Kasi I know we change naman clothes kasi if ever if doesn't fit na sa atin, so we can donate it to these kind of organizations. Store food and other products in containers rather than foil and plastic wraps. So now naman, this is one of our advocacy, no, your pet and the environment. Why it's very important, no, na we should know how to become friendly with our pet and how to conserve and help the environment with our pet. So these are one of the few things that we need to consider. No? Use eco-friendly pet food. So food that is all natural, chemical-free, and biodegradable, and produced in processes that have also been modified to reduce pollution and detrimental impact on the environment. So if we have pets there like dogs, cats, or other pa ba dyan, mga hamster. So please use eco-friendly pet food. And also, kasi we want to play with our pets, use also an eco-friendly and DIY pet toys. Buy pet toys produced with recycled or environmentally friendly materials and with less packaging. Of course, that's what we do here in strays worth saving, no. So we want to avoid overpopulation, no. For the information of the viewers, there are 2.7 million unwanted cats and dogs that are euthanized each year. Meaning, pinapatay na lang sila kasi masyadong madami na, wala na nag-a-adapt. So why not give one of them a home instead? So that's what we do here. If we find stray dogs and cats, kung wala talaga silang may-ari, we want to verify first. Of course, we post pictures, we adopt them first, take care of them, and then feed them muna, and then we post it on our social media account. Please follow us as Strays Worth Saving. You can check our dogs there for adoption and cats. And then, of course, no, buying or ordering pets from breeders is only adding to to the overpopulation problem. So if you are interested, no, just let us know and send a message to our Facebook page, Strays Worth Saving, and we can help you adopt a dog or a cat or any stray na animals na pwede naming i-share sa public, no, na kasi it comes with ano kung kaya mo na siyang alagaan, it comes with maturity as well, preparedness na you are ready to adopt a pet na. Trap, neuter, and return strays. This helps to control the population of strays, but it requires a joint effort not just by pet groups or vets, but also citizens in helping to report any strays. For example, no, if you have seen mga dogs na mga cats, we have to our part as well to neuter them and then para malesen yung 2.7 million na uh, ano natin, unwanted cats and dogs. So of course, that's what we do here and strays worth saving. Then switch your cat litter. So if ever no we have cat litters, yun yung mga nagpupup yung mga pusa natin. So a lot of regular cat litter today is full of mineral-based products that are strip-mined. This is environmentally destructive. Use greener plant-based cat litter products made from wet corn, ground up corn cobs, alfalfa pellets, and recycled newspaper pellets. So what we do here, we have cats as well dito sa bahay, no? So what we do, we let them poop in a sand. So pag na-poop namin siya sa sand, tsaka na namin siya binabalot. So hindi siya, at least hindi na kami kailangan bumili pa ng, we don't need to buy cat litter. So it saves us money and also it helps us to save the environment. If for the information of the viewers, cat poop can contain a toxic parasite called Toxoplasma gondii, which is dangerous to animals and humans. So never flush a cat poop. Instead, tie it up in a bag and throw it in the bin. So that's it for the pets, no? So if ever kung sino yung may mga pets dito, please remind yourselves with this. And also, if you're interested to adopt cats and dogs, please follow us at Strays Worth Saving, no? And then if you are going to parks, please pick up your pet waste, no? Pet waste left unattended has the potential to contaminate our waterways. So if ever there's a rain and then you left your pet's poop in the park, so magfa-flow yun sa mga sewerage systems natin, magba-block yun and then it will cause flood, no? Do use biodegradable plastic bags to help dispose pet waste as well to further reduce the environment impact. And then do not let your pets harm wildlife. So avoiding or reduce walking of your dog in wildlife-rich areas, keeping cat indoors whenever possible if it has a particular thirst for other smaller animals. Kasi may mga cats no na looking for smaller animals and they fed on it, no? Ayun. Alternatively, you might want to consider keeping pets in a fenced backyard. So what we do here sa bahay, no, we just let them stay here sa compound and then let them play. Kasi syempre, if the neighbor, for example, their cats or dog has not been fully vaccinated, no, it adds as well to the mortality of the pets that you have in your home. And then that's it. So this is our Facebook page, Strays for Saving, and we want to say thank you for Power Mac Center for giving us a platform to share what we have at Strays Worth Saving.
All right. Thank you so much, Bill, for that presentation. All right. At this point, we can entertain 1 to 2 questions. If you guys have any questions for Bill, please type them in the chat box. Merong tanong si Edico. Sabi niya, is this only available in Manila or do you have branches in different parts of the Philippines? I think he's asking about your organization and if you have like a place that they can visit for the strays. Do you have one in CDO Dao, Bill?
As of now, we have here in Metro Manila, but of course, no, if you can collaborate with the pets. I know there are pets organization in CDO. So pwede kayong lumapit doon as well. So you can adopt a pet or help them, or you can create your own if you want. We can help you on how to start your own organization that adopts mga stray dogs and cats na nasa mga local ninyo. Ayan.
Oh, okay, okay. So, but wherever you guys are, Strays Worth Saving, again, I just want to echo what Bill said. They can help you out to start an organization in your community.
Yes.
Start that initiative in your community. I think because the ultimate goal naman is to have everyone do it. So of course, Strays Worth Saving, syempre, onti lang din naman in terms of manpower. So, in whatever way we can, let's help.
Do our
Okay?
part. Yes.
Yes. Okay, so last question from April. Thank you, Bill. Sabi niya, hope this question pick up. What is the main difference of wilderness and forest? Oh, interesting question.
Sa slide ko kanina, no, just what I
Mm-mm.
mentioned, no. So forest is composed of an ecosystem. So
Mm-mm.
wilderness is a protection granted within national park, forest, and in areas. So ang forest, pwede siyang kasama ng wilderness. Gets mo?
Okay.
Oo,
Yeah.
parang ganun.
Okay. So
No
forest is just part of the
wilderness. Yeah, parang parang malaking area ang wilderness than the forest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that yan clear na. Kasi sometimes people can really be confused with terms like that, and at least that you've cleared that out also. And very important yung sinabi ni Bill kanina that we shouldn't flush our pets residue sa mga toilets natin kasi apparently yun nga may mga chemicals na bad for humans. And also when walking our pets outdoors, especially kunwari sa parks and like sa streets, ang dami ko rin nakikita na hindi responsible yung owners.
Agree.
Diba? So let's all be responsible pet owners as well. Okay. And lastly, I think I just want to echo this really, really quickly. If you have strays around your community, please do our best to report. Like Bill said, report it to whoever we can report it to organizations in our local communities so that they can be neutered as well, and maybe we can find homes for them. Again, please follow Strays Worth Saving on their social media accounts. Thank you so much, Bill,
Thank you
for
so much
that
as
wonderful
well.
talk. All right. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you everyone who sent in their questions and engaged with Bill while he was talking about that. Now, at this point, I want to introduce our Project Bighani brand ambassador to all of you. Kyle Jennerman, also known as Kulas of Becoming Filipino, is a Canadian who uses social media for positive education and to advocate travel and connection here in the Philippines. He has already explored 80 provinces around the country. Okay, let's just reflect on that really quickly. 80 provinces. I've only explored. Bilang ko lang sa kamay ko. Kulas believes that social media and real-world interaction can build positive outcomes, not just for yourself, but more importantly, for those around you. And I'm sure if you follow him, you've heard this. Power on. Here to talk about the secrets to successful content creation is Kyle Jennerman. Hi, Kyle.
Yo. Okay. I hope you can see me. Am I in here?
Yep, yeah. You're in here.
Okay, there it is. It's just like you pop up. Hello, Zoom chat group. Wow, this is exciting. Yeah. So cool. What's up, guys? I'm going to share my screen. Wow. Give me a chance here. It says continue. Go. Fantastic. So thank you, Danny. Thank you, Power Mac. Thank you, everybody. I guess this is where I jump in and take over for a bit. Basically, first and foremost, I just want to touch on this topic. I think you should be seeing a slide that says successful with quotation marks. Really interesting. The reason I put quotation marks was if you follow me, you might have noticed I promoted this talk a few days ago, and somebody made the interesting comment. They said, well, what makes for successful content? Like, because I said I'm going to talk about successful content. I thought that was a very good comment because it's true. What is successful? Is it getting the most likes? Is it having the most views? Is it what is successful content? So we're going to touch about that a bit today, and hopefully ways maybe you can be more successful, and hopefully it'll reflect myself and make me more successful in making content too. So Hello again, chat box. I'm reading everything. You guys are super positive and I'm loving it. First and foremost, let's look at a few maybe successful posts. So what you're looking at now is a Facebook post, and it involves my old roommate, Brett, who's in Canada, and his Askell, or not, is it Askell? Yes, Askell dog, Butler. Now, funny enough, we just had a great advocacy talking about stray dogs. This is a stray dog who was saved by my roommate, and they like fell in love with each other, and it's in Canada. But anyway, I want you to look at the bottom right. You might see 120,000 likes and 5,000 comments and a whole bunch of shares. This was my most read post last year. So I think roughly 7 million people read it. And, that's a lot of people. So is that successful? Or the likes or the comments or the shares? Is that my most successful? I don't know. Let's look at this. This is, Lapu Lapu for 250 pesos a kilo here on the coast. And I posted about it and I talked a bit about Manong at the stand and how I asked him, hey, saan galing sa isda, asagikan sa isda, where's the fish from? And he's like, oh, I caught it in the dagat, in the ocean. I was like, oh, of course. Why did I even ask that question? Anyways, I'm writing about, this topic, and the post is really good. I had 33,000 likes and all these comments. I mean, is that successful? Then we have this one. My parents, they came just before COVID. I was very lucky. And they visited me in the Philippines. And more specifically, they didn't just visit me up north. They also ended up flying down to my home in Mindanao. And it was really awesome. And I posted about it. And you notice that 26,000 likes and a lot of comments. Not as much as the other posts, but it had a lot. So, was that successful? Well, I want you to think about this. So there's 3 posts I just showed you guys. Personally, I think they're all successful because they're content I wanted to make. But there was one that really stood out the most to me. And before I tell you which one, you guys can guess in the comment section if you like. What I'd like to do is I'd like to tell you why I make content. So when I think about social media and creating anything, whether it's on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, whatever, I think about why am I doing it? And even before I ever started, guys, I already knew exactly why. I'd already written it down. I'd already thought it out. And there's 4 reasons. I don't usually share them often publicly, but I'll tell you now. Number one, I just genuinely believed if I could introduce people to the country, to the Philippines, in a positive way, have a positive effect on their life and a positive effect on my life. So yeah, that's why I wanted to make content. Number 2, I had a lot of Filipino friends. I still do. Most of my friends here, they're Filipino. I live with a Filipino family. Even before I made content, I was living with a Filipino family in Cebu, living with a Filipino family in Cagayan de Oro. And I noticed they're really awesome, super amazing, good vibes, but also sometimes the vibes would shift and the conversations would get a bit negative, a bit sad, a bit intense. And I kind of wondered why that was happening so often. And what I wanted to do is create content to hopefully inspire them to talk more positive all the time and focus on positive things because I was getting a bit drained by the negative stuff. Number 3, I'm a foreign national. I'm Canadian. And there's a lot of people like myself who maybe want to come to the Philippines or who, are here in the Philippines. And I just thought it'd be great to spread a bit of positive education, ways they could connect better or things they could learn about that I had been learning about through experience. So I wanted to share about that. And then number 4, and my last reason why I make content is I live in Mindanao. I mean, right now I'm sitting in a wooden house on the coast of Cataio in Davao Oriental. I lived in Cagayan de Oro for many years. I've been all over the country, of course, but a lot of people get a bit afraid about Mindanao or the South, so they tend to jump to the negative and get a bit kind of, worried about things more than focusing on the vast majority of positive stuff here. So I wanted to challenge them a bit, and that's the 4th reason why I make content. Now, if we look back to these posts, so we have this is my most famous based on likes and comments and shares and reachability. Yeah, it was successful. I think it was a really great topic, something I wanted to bring up because I never really bring it up often, stray animals and dogs and what Brett did. So yeah, it was successful. The fish, a little bit of Filipino humor at the stand. I mean, it was cool, it was successful. And technically this was much more popular than this post. This post wasn't seen by as many people. I didn't have as many likes, but in all honesty, I would call this the most successful post I have ever made in social media or online, because 6 years after creating that first post on Facebook, on YouTube, creating content online, I went from my parents being very, very nervous for me, being here in the Philippines and especially in Mindanao, being very, very kind of upset with me for dedicating so much of my time to making content, and being very apprehensive and literally word for word saying, we'll never come to Mindanao. Why would we ever go there? It's really dangerous and scary. And then here they are, 6 years later, in a post on my social media, going to my home in Mindanao, laughing and smiling. My mom looking at the camera going, don't take the photo, son. Having a laugh. And this, to me, even though it didn't have 120,000 likes, sure, it was read by a lot of people, but it wasn't read by 7 million. But I consider this the most successful post I've ever made, because it had the most amount of purpose for me. And also it showed me that the content I was creating was actually having a big direct impact in what I wanted it to do. I wanted to challenge people. I wanted people to, see Mindanao in a different way, that fourth reason I shared. And I did that with my own parents. And that was very, very cool. So when you're thinking about successful content, I really do hope that you guys always go back to the slide here, think about the why. Why am I making content? And reflect on that. Don't just go straight to, it got the most likes, it got the most views, because yes, that's cool. And it could help your post as well. And it might, it might be great. And you might be writing about something or creating a video that's great, but maybe it won't be the most successful thing as something else. So, all right. Now that I'm over my little emo bit there, my parents, hello chat box, what's up? I like it. Ooh, okay. What I'd like you to do is, I have a slide up that says getting your content noticed. So in the chat box right now, maybe can you guys share with me some things you think that would make your content, whether it's a YouTube video or a Facebook post or Instagram or TikTok or whatever, get noticed more? What are some things that can maybe boost your content? So something, I've seen hashtags. What's up, Randy? I just saw you on Instagram in the comments. And authenticity, that's cool. Hannah, thumbnail, what's up, Hannah? I think I'll mention you later. I know exactly who you are. I met that person 3 weeks ago. Very cool. Witty captions, yeah, that's definitely cool. Hey, Paul. Paul was at the last Power Mac thing in Makati. What's up, man? Nice to see you. Okay, content noticed. So you can actually, you could Google this. How can my content get more noticed? And you might see things like take really good videos and pictures, or be very unique. I'll tell you a bit more later, but honestly, I only use Mac stuff. I have even since 2012, and the phones are getting way better, and it's pretty easy to take nice photos now. But, a little bit of product talk there, and that's just an honest truth. But yeah, that can be something that can help you. You could collab. You might see that, there's this term now, collab. You could collab with other people, or people who have a lot of followers. Maybe they'll, post about stuff you're doing or and that might get you more traffic. There's some things you could follow trends. These have like dance challenges, or there's like current events that are trending in the world. Maybe your content focuses on these things. There's a chance that that's going to boost it on the internet universe. Post often. Somebody, Adiko Cheong, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. They say consistency. Yeah, you could post often. What is posting often? Well, I might discuss that a little bit more in the near future, but yeah, just posting lots of stuff. It could help you. Maybe more people will come across it. Anyways, the fact of the matter is, all of these things will probably help you get more interaction, get your content noticed. You could actually just Google or look on the internet and find a lot of things, about what to do and how to get content noticed. But, I'm in the chat group. That's why my thing wouldn't go to the next slide. Okay. Here is my content journey. So what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to share with you a little bit about those 4 things and how my kind of creating content over the years fit into those things, but also, kind of how things I learned that helped make my content maybe stand out a bit more. So first thing, take really stunning videos and pictures. True, if you have some pretty nice images out there on the internet, you're probably going to get a lot more traffic or a lot more people, looking at them. So on the left, that's me in Boracay. right here with a boat in the sail. That was taken on my new iPhone. I'm not lying. Here it is. I bought it in December. That's the iPhone 12. It's really good. There's no filters there. That's like legit. All that happened was snap. Literally took like 2 seconds. It was like snap, boom, beautiful picture. Top right, that's a photo on a GoPro. It's actually a screen grab. It looks pretty appealing. I'm in a cold spring in Zamboanga there, in Zamboanga del Norte. Very, very cool place. And on the bottom right, kind of a cool image. It looks pretty unique. It's a farm in Talakag in Bukidnon that was taken with a drone. So yeah, I mean, if you put images like this with whatever you're doing, I mean, or even video clips like this, of course, you're probably gonna have a better chance of maybe standing out. But here's what my images used to look like. Yeah, bottom left, that's a really amazing event we did in Tacloban in March, a few months after Yolanda, and you can see my skills with my phone are pretty shady. I'm like shaking my hand and like not that I was not a professional photographer, as you can tell. That's just a bunch of people lined up to go for a run. On the right, you'll see me holding something. I don't even know if you can see that those are strawberries. I mean, that photo is like, it's not pro, it's not like super nice, but that's the skill I had when I started. Okay, I had zero photography background, zero video making background, zero content making background, and my stuff, I didn't think it was that stunning. But here's the thing: is that if you look back now, of course technology's got a little better, but honestly, if I look back here, it's getting better because I'm doing it so much. So don't worry if your images or your video clips, if they're not like as amazing as you want them to be, because guys, trust me, mine were just like whatever, blurry, weird, oversaturated, not knowing what I'm doing, but they got better because I practiced and I had fun and I was doing a lot of making stuff. So somebody just said I thought it's a pizza. Yeah, I know. You can't even see it's strawberries, right? But so yeah, just for this thing, yes, it helps you to take really good, photos and videos. But don't be bummed out if you're not yet, because you can learn just like I learned. It took me, it's actually fun learning. All right. Second thing that I put up there earlier, collab with other creators. So you might know if you follow me, yes, I'm friends with a lot of people now who do make content. Like, Will's a friend. I could call him up. We've talked before, and we can chat. And we've been on a trip together when he came and joined our adventure in Samar. That's me picking him up on a bridge. And don't know if you saw that. On the right, that's me and Erwan. We went on a Hamagitan trek, and he's a buddy of mine. And yes, of course, he's very famous. Has lots of followers. Definitely somebody who, if he shouts you out, I'm sure people are gonna, a lot more people maybe than myself would be seeing it. So, I mean, yeah, this whole term collab, definitely it can help you. But the thing is, for the first 3 years of making content, I didn't even know what the term collab was. For me, my collabing was just doing what I'm passionate about with everyday people. And what happened is that first 3 years, I actually grew a lot in the online universe based off of word of mouth and people really connecting with what I was doing. For me, the ultimate collab you can ever do is not with somebody who has 1 million followers, or it's just with what you're passionate about, and even with everyday people. On the left, that's me and my friends in Iligan City. I've probably been back 20 times to Iligan, and every time we go on these cool adventures. We have fun. I document things. They show me cool things. None of them make content. None of them have many followers, but they helped me grow. And the whole community in Iligan started to see what I was doing and connect with what I was doing because the community was talking about it. Never underestimate the power of just sharing one thing with one person. It is really, really, really just as powerful as sharing it to 1 million followers. It can compound so big. On the right, that's me in Lubuagan, Kalinga. I just pulled over on the side of the road. I was by myself on a scooter, and I just started chatting, having coffee for like an hour, and talking to locals there, about what I was doing and why I make things on the internet and why I'm adventuring around. And I kid you not, I went back there in 2019 when I was on my second solo adventure through the Cordilleras on a scooter, and that whole community in Lubuagan, the whole municipality, everybody knew who I was. based off of just them talking about me, learning about me themselves because of our interaction. You know, these collabs, to me, they are the most powerful collabs you can ever have. So again, definitely great to go collab with other creators and to, you know, get shout outs and make cool videos of people who have lots of followers, but you don't need it. You can grow based off of what you're creating by just doing it in the real world without other creators. So that's from personal experience, guys. And yeah, I really want to emphasize that. Just collab with what you're passionate about. Doesn't matter who with. All right. I like it. I'm starting to sweat a bit because I'm in the outdoors here in a Macan house and talking and getting passionate. Oh, and somebody said sequate is an alternative to coffee. That is a good fact. That is true. Sequate is delicious, hot chocolate. All right. Powering on. Third thing, guys, following trends online. So like I said earlier, you can do like challenges, you can do dances, or you can, you know, follow things that are currently trending and happening on the internet. But what can be really, really good for whatever you're doing is just kind of creating your own niche and having things stick. So before I ever started this online content kind of journey, what I did is I grouped it under one thing, hashtag becoming Filipino. And everything I was ever going to do was always going to have hashtag becoming Filipino as a part of it. It was unique. It had never been used before. And it was something that I really connected with. It wasn't me trying to be a Filipino. It was me taking positive experiences I'm having here in the Philippines and having those become a part of my life. That's why it's the hashtag becoming Filipino, and sharing those things. So I grouped it all under that. And since 2014, everything I've ever created will always have that in it. And that can be very helpful because as you grow or as you create content, it creates something that people can always come back to. For example, my smile sign. I don't know if you see it there. There's a big story to that, but I'm not going to share it because it'll take too much time out of this talk. You can read about it. I posted about it before. But I would carry that thing around with me everywhere I go. It was a simple reminder to me, and I would always include it, you know, or often include it, you know, in my social media. And it became something that people also would see often and connect with. It was my own trend, my own, you know, current thing. Or super appear on the top right, you can see there's a logo. Somebody made that for me like 6 years ago. But on the bottom right, it's me giving it an appear. That's actually in Iligan City, 2015. Funny story. The reason I started super appear was my tita in Cebu. I wanted to give her high five, like a peer, you know. So I knew it was a peer, like yay, a peer. But I asked her, I was like, Tita, what if I want it to be like really awesome? You know, what word can I use? And she told me, she's like, well, if you say like salamat gaayo, you know, it's like adding emphasis. Or if you say like gaayo, you know, you can add that term to a word and it makes it like really emphasized. But I was like, maybe it could just be super. So I just said super appear, and she kind of laughed and we had an appear. But then I don't know, I just kind of liked it. It made me feel good, and it reminded me about, you know, life is super and there's a lot of cool things you can appreciate, even a peer. So I started connecting that to all my posts, everything I was doing, whenever I made an appear. And that I guess became one of my own things. I kid you not, I'll never remember being in BGC in 2019, walking down the road, and a tita who must have been maybe in her late 70s just walked across, looked at me and went, Kulas, super appear, and gave me a super appear. I was like, oh man, you know, it's really cool. So you can create your own trends or your own things. And again, guys, don't expect them to like trend and go viral and be something that, you know, everybody's going to be doing. But if you make them personal to what you're creating and they're always there, they're great reminders for yourself. And then you never know, they might grow with your audience and become things that connect your audience to you. So yeah, definitely when you look at trends, don't just look at challenges, dances, current events. Think about unique, you know, what you want to create. But saying that, this is me awkwardly in Intramuros 2016, attempting to do the Running Man. Remember that dance? So everybody goes like, na, 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 like this little dance. Well, I decided to do it. I was like, okay, I'm going to do the Running Man. But what I did is I used this trend or this challenge on the internet, and I transformed it into my content where I ran around Manila, did the dance everywhere. But then I ended up in Tondo with an organization called Project Pearls doing a give back. So the trend, it got me more traction on the internet because everyone's like, oh, Kulas is doing the Running Man. but then it actually ran me to an advocacy that I wanted to support. And that was a really, really cool way that I realized, trends and challenges and things in current events online, you can utilize them uniquely in your own content to make your content or form it into your content to make a positive difference or just to help your content grow. The guy on the right there, I still don't know him. I've never met him, but his name was Darren. And because of that video, he saw the Running Man video. He's a foreign national. He ended up coming to the Philippines and going to this advocacy and doing a huge thing where he like shaved his head and raised money and stuff. And I don't even know him. I never knew him, but because I used a trend online to go there, he saw the video and it brought him to do something positive. So again, trends can be very good and you can utilize them in unique ways. So always think about that. What's happening in the world? What's trending? How do I want to use it in my content on the internet? All right. Loving it. Cool. Kulas, I saw you walking down the street in Liceo. Awesome. That's the university in Cagayan de Oro. So I'm jumping in the content section. Sorry, guys, I'm getting emo and talking, but I'm always reading your comments. I'm going to talk to you a bit more later. All right. Fourth thing that I wrote before, how to get your content up. Post often. Here's the thing. Something I've learned over the years is, yes, making consistent content and posting a lot can be very helpful because it draws people to want to come back and look at your stuff. For example, I've had some of you guys, I don't know if any of you in the chat group, but I've had people message me, yo, Kulas, every morning I get excited if you're going to put a vlog up at 7 because you're my coffee and news in the morning because I was so consistent uploading every morning. So they're getting used to it and getting into it. So posting often can be really good. But the way I post often is I always make sure to balance. What I mean by that is if you look at these three kind of images in front of me on the computer, on the left, these are actually images from last week. On the left is a bunch of peanuts, like mani peanuts. Basically, I like peanuts. They were cool. Why not? Rock and roll. I wanted to post about them. On the right is a photo of our house here in Catillo in the dark. But the post with that house and that image, I actually wrote something kind of emo, kind of like deep about goodness in the world and emo. And then the post below is about a lady, Ati Susan, who has a shop in Tagum, and she was super cool. And I wrote a personal story about her. You can see that these three posts, they're all unique. They're all different. One's just food and peanuts and coolness. Another one is emo, night vibes, talk about life stuff. Another thing is a personal story about somebody. I always try and mix up my content a bit to kind of, not overwhelm people with just one thing over and over and over and over. So for example, if you just opened Becoming Filipino on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram every day, and I just gave you emo nonstop, you might get tired of me. You might be like, man, like today I just don't want to see anything emo. So by kind of posting often, but uniquely posting and balancing it, it can be very, very effective in whatever you're creating. So just, consistency is definitely key. The person in the comment section, Dan, but it's also important to understand your consistency and what you're putting out there and how you want to balance it towards your audience. All right. Those are 4 things, but number 1, definitely purpose and passion are your greatest assets in content creation. So there's lots of ways you can boost your content or you can kind of, help it stand out a bit more. But first and foremost, I really believe you just have to want to make it. If you want to make it and you have reason for making it, it's really going to help you guys every day. Even when I'm tired, if I have big eye bags and just exhausted, if I see something that really, that fits into what I want to create, I get so excited and I just go do it because I'm passionate and purposeful driven about it. So definitely always remember that. All right. I'm gonna wipe the sweat off my face. Singhut. In Tagalog, it's pawis. In Bisaya, it's singhut. How do you say sweat in your dialect? Anybody know Ilocano? How do you say sweat? Type it in. Or anything. Ilocano, Boholano.
In Tagalog,
Bicolano.
it's pawis.
Yeah, pawis in Tagalog, no? What's that?
Yeah.
Chavacano, that's Zamboanga. Sudor. Interesting.
Sudor.
Cool.
Ooh.
Sudor. That sounds really social. Sudor. I like it. Very, very cool. Balhas and Waray. If you don't know, Waray comes from Samar. It's very cool. Eastern Visayas. Linget. My pronunciation is really bad. Linget, Ilocano. Man, you guys are pretty diverse in this chat box. Balhas, Ilonggo, what's up? Ilo, Hiliganan. Very cool. In Albay, Hinang. Holy smokes, you guys are really diverse. I'm digging this. Okay, back to the content talk. Away with the sweat. So, super content tips. Do you see how I put super in here? Just because, I don't know, it made me feel good. So I put it in there. I could just put content tips. And then I have a woot woot. If you didn't know, it's not an owl noise. It's just like woot woot. I don't know. My brother does it. Makes me happy. So I put it in. Something cool. All right. Connect your photos and videos. So one thing I have found to be very, very effective for me is anything I produce on YouTube, literally almost anything. All the videos I'm taking and putting up, I'm also taking photos around those experiences. And I'm also sharing those photos with a little bit of a caption on other platforms. So it's giving me this kind of like drive for people. Hey, that looked really cool in the video. Maybe Kulas wrote about that. Let's go check it out. Or hey, that image was really cool. But did that really happen? Let's go check it out. And there it is on YouTube. So it's really nice to be able to take both photos and videos of whatever you're creating and have those back each other up. I found that has been very effective. It does take a bit more work, but honestly, I like it because it allows me to reflect more on whatever I'm experiencing. So if I go make a video or I'm out having an experience, when I sit down, I look at the photos and I reflect and I write, it really just makes me appreciate it more. So that's definitely something that can be very, very effective for you. Recycle content. Oh my gosh, this is something I only realized recently. Why have I not been doing this? If you take a lot of photos or videos, if there's things you like and you're snapping away and whatever, don't just use it once. Look at how many different ways you can use it. So even for example, on the left here, there's a video I put it on Facebook, and it was just Aliwagwag Falls. And in this case, I was just using my drone, but basically I realized I was like, man, this is really nice footage. Why don't I do something else with it, like make a short video and put it up there? So like what PowerMac's doing right now with their Project Bighani and the Hometown Glory thing, like use your phone, just make a short video about your home. Again, it's like if you have a lot of cool footage, you can recycle it and make stuff with it. So this video got more than 1 million views, had a lot of positive interaction. People were talking about Mindanao and Katiil and waterfalls. And that was actually the second time I used the content. It had already existed on the internet before, but I repackaged it and shared it again. So very, very important to think about that. Second thing here, you'll see a photo of me and my buddy Mike and Brett. I went on some cool trips with this group of guys. They were called the Fighter Boys. We did it 3 times. I have a lot of cool images with them. So every now and again, I realized, a lot of people like to see these images. So I utilize them for different storytelling. Never, even if I've used the image before, maybe I group it into an album, or maybe I just tell a different story using the image. And I found that actually, there's nothing wrong with it. Sometimes people think, I've used a photo, I've used a video, that's it. It's done. No, it's not. Recycle, use it more, because it can have even better purpose, or it can even have a greater effect in a different way. So things to think about, guys. Don't just like bin your content after making it. Give yourself options. So Ati Susan, very cool lady in Tagum City. You can read the story. I posted it maybe 5 days ago. One thing that I always like to do is just try and get a bunch of different images, bunch of different photos. I could have taken just one nice picture of Ati Susan and written about her. It probably would have been great too. But by having various options, it allowed me to tell a story even better. So I talk about her being like rock, 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 and like making fun of the rocking chair. And I have her talking about her like attitude and being so like upbeat and fun. So there I am with a pie, fanning her. Adding more options and images can really be effective in your storytelling, whether it's in video form or photo form. So you can never take too much content. Just snap away and then think about, maybe how it can help you, that kind of thing. So definitely give yourself options. Yeah, somebody said, as long as it's used to spread positivity. Yeah, definitely look at positivity when you're making your content. I think sometimes people think you have to be, I'm jumping off of it with that comment, but people think you have to be, controversial or call people out or be intense. You're looking at a guy who's never really done that in 7 years. But my content grew and my audience grew, and our interaction and positive outcomes grew. You don't need to. You don't need to be controversial. You don't need to call people out. You don't need to be negative. You can just be positive and share positive education across the internet. And speaking of that, keeping it real can be effective. So, like, the phones are good. like this is a really good phone, okay? Like iPhone 12 is really, really good. You can hear my voice. I'm getting all excited. It's super good. You take a photo, it's like, wow. Like the quality is wow. But you can also play around with it. You know, you can edit the saturation. You can edit the ambience. You can use apps and make it super crazy beautiful. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, you have to be careful because you need to, you know, kind of realize what's real, what's not. For example, if you type in Pink Beach Zamboanga into Google or into the internet, this is probably one of the images you'll see right away. Actually, that's where I got it. I tell you right now, I've been to that beach 3 times. That is not the Pink Beach. That is way too pink. That is crazy, over the top. That is a lie. That is not the beach. The beach is white with little reflective pink shells that are really beautiful and make it pink. Has a pink glow under the sun. It is not like an ice cream cotton candy pink. That is not the Pink Beach in Zamboanga. So it's very important, you know, if somebody sees this image and is like, yes, I'm gonna save up all my money. I wanna go to the cotton candy beach in Zamboanga, the Pink Beach. And then they go there and they're like, man, that is not what I was expecting. You have to be careful because that can really reflect negative on what you're creating because you're losing credibility. So it's very, very important that whatever you're creating, yes, you can make it really beautiful, but it's super, super important to keep it real. Okay, there's nothing wrong with like adding a little bit of spice to add that extra awesomeness because you might be having an awesome experience, but we can't be unrealistic. And this is unrealistic. This is not the Pink Beach in Zamboanga. So just be very, very careful when you're creating, not to overdo it. Keep it real. Woo! Really sweating now. My balhas in Hiligaynon. No aircon here. And the wind actually died down. So it's really, bring it on. Okay. Diversify your platforms. Now this is quite cool because, well, I'll start by saying, actually, no, let's just jump. I'll tell you the 3 ones I use and why I use them. So Facebook for me is my quick hit storytelling. I probably write my stories very, very fast and share my images very fast. I don't really pre-plan that much. I just kind of fire and go. Sometimes I'll be like having an experience and then right away I do it. I write as it's happening. I'm on Facebook, go. Because I know that Facebook is a platform that people share quickly. People really are like, go, 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 share, get in there, interact fast. So I use it for my short, quick hits, get stuff out if I want it out fast. YouTube tends to take a little bit longer. It's like a longevity because, you know, your video sits there. Maybe you'll get traffic now, maybe you'll get traffic in the future. And I use it for my long form kind of storytelling. So you'll see those really long, raw videos, they're like 20 minutes. You know, it's kind of just like, it is what it is. Here it is. So this is how, by the way, this isn't like how you should use it. This is just how I use it. You can be diverse in every way you use a platform. Instagram, the other platform I use, I just fire stuff up there. For me, it's like, I want to show people I'm just a real dude. So like literally 20 minutes before this, I just threw up a selfie. It was like, yo, I'm doing a talk soon in Power Mac. Look at my background. Whee! You know, that's my Instagram because I want you seeing this now to know that I'm just human. So my Instagram is my human. I jump out and go, hey, here I am. Sometimes I get emo. Sometimes I go like super beautiful, but sometimes it's just me eating a sandwich, you know, whatever, rock and roll. TikTok. I don't have TikTok. I think I made the username and then I was like, not because I don't like TikTok. I have lots of friends who are awesome on that platform and enjoy creating content on that platform. And man, that platform is very popular. But the thing is, all my energy is in these other 3 platforms that if I start doing another platform, it's going to draw away from the successes and things I want to create on other places. So I just choose at this time not to use TikTok just because I just don't want to. I don't have the time for it. I enjoy creating on other platforms. Will I in the future? Maybe. Actually, maybe soon because I'm starting to dig the whole vertical thing on my phone. So that's not again, Power Mac. What have you done to me? Okay. Anyways, so Yeah, basically, I don't use TikTok yet, but hey, I'm sure it could be cool. Twitter, I don't know. I mean, for some of my friends say they use it to just like shout out. It's like their megaphone. They just like shout stuff out. They tweet it. But I just didn't get into it, and I didn't want to use it, so I just didn't. But again, Twitter is very popular, and you can utilize it in many ways. So don't limit yourself. For me, I'm never limiting myself to just Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, but I definitely wanted to master what I'm doing on those platforms first before drawing myself into another one. So yeah, anyways, just diversify. And then if you can diversify your platforms rather than share the exact same thing on every platform, it can draw people to want to go to your other platforms. So all of my content is different. If I just go same post on everything, same wording, same video, I don't see why people would want to go to the other platform as often to see it. So that's why I try and diversify. All right. This is an interesting comment. You know what? I only use iMovie. I've never used anything but iMovie. I've made 1,300 videos. They're all iMovie. You're gonna see a screenshot in a sec. I was editing before this. It's on iMovie. I put it in this talk because I was like, you know what? This is what I'm doing. So you're gonna see it in a sec. I just use iMovie, built into the Mac. I've only used Mac since the beginning. This isn't, again, why am I doing a talk with Power Mac? Because we align. I use Mac products all the time. It makes sense why I'm doing a talk for them. Mac's really good. Okay, back to the different super content tips. Go with the flow sometimes. Man, going with the flow can be very, very effective. So what I mean by that is it's awesome to plan what you want to do. Hey, today I'm gonna cook escabeche and I'm gonna vlog about it, and it's gonna be dope, and we're gonna rock it, and we're gonna cook escabeche. Yeah. I mean, that's awesome. And maybe you want to script it, maybe you want to get specific shots. Great. But I found myself making some pretty awesome content when I just go with the flow. So the other day after my surgery, I left the house in Tagum. I was like, oh, I really want coffee. And I looked, I was like, oh, there's a coffee shop nearby. And I ended up going there. And then, wow, there's this cool story about these 4 young entrepreneurs who are working together, and they have a really cool coffee shop. I'm just going to start filming stuff. So I did. And again, it sounds so funny because I keep saying it, but I couldn't hold a big camera. I had a messed up shoulder. I just used my iPhone, and it was great. And I filmed it. It's on YouTube. You can see it, being a clock. And we had a great time, and I learned a lot. And then I wrote about them too, and it was very popular, and people got into it. So again, go with the flow. If you see something that you think you want to make content about, why not? Rock it. You don't have to plan everything. Adapt and make it happen. 2 days ago, all of a sudden, 94 baby turtles just hatched in front of our house. All of my gear, I wasn't planning on vlogging. All of my gear was just like everything, batteries are dead, whatever. But then I was like, oh, we have to at least take some photos and do some videos. So I got my phone and I filmed. And that's what you saw on YouTube. And I adapted, and we just vlogged what we could with my phone while still making sure to try and care for these turtles and whatnot. So just use whatever you have around you. Don't worry about, hey, I don't have exactly what I want, or hey, I wanted all these mics and things too. Just rock and roll, just adapt, make it happen. And sometimes you'll find yourself making content you're really happy you made. I'm really happy we showed people about the turtles. Hopefully it will have a positive effect. Hopefully we'll learn more as well. You know, just like the Save the Sea stuff earlier, hopefully, you know, that will spread a bit of education as well. We'll learn from it. So cool. Finally, get uncomfortable and stray from your norm. What you're looking at here is iMovie. Literally 2 hours ago. I do not really make content with VO, voiceover. Power Mac was like, yo, make some videos with VO, storytelling. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be weird for me because I don't really do it often, but let's do it. Now, I kid you not, I'm recycling all my old content and making VO videos. And this is gonna be one. Like I literally made a new channel with my drone, but I'm just VOing everything. And that's because Power Mac got me uncomfortable. And now I'm like, hey, this is kind of cool though. I'm gonna try this. And now I'm kind of having fun. The past 5 hours before this talk, I've literally been running to my car, VOing on my iPhone, coming back to iMovie, plugging in the VOs, and creating a video about Boracay. It's all drone footage. It's all VO with the iPhone. It's all on iMovie, and you'll see it tomorrow probably if I finish it tonight. But that's literally what I'm doing. So again, this is something I never thought I would do. Why am I doing VO videos using old footage? Why not? I don't know. It's kind of cool. And I think that actually it could be really successful and something I enjoy doing. So I'm trying it. So yeah, never be afraid to get uncomfortable and stray from your norm, because maybe you'll find something you like to create in a different way. And that's what's happening with me literally right now. And have fun, man. Please have fun. If you're gonna make content, even if it's for work, just have fun. I found that if I ever pressure myself, if I ever think, man, I need to make something that gets this much likes, or I need to make something that, is like this, I just like going, you know what? I think I'm gonna make some content about this. Let's have some fun creating it. And I found that is most effective for me, rather than stressing myself out about how I'm gonna make it or what I'm gonna make. Always start with having fun. And I think that you can really be successful. So, whew, I think that's it. That is it. That is the talk. I am now really sweating, but I hope that gave you a bit of info and a bit of insight. And I hope too that we can have some cool questions, interaction. I'm digging the comment section.
All right. Thank you so much, Kyle, or Kulas. Everybody's been calling you Kulas in the chat box, and the chat box has been wild. At this point, let's entertain some of your questions. So go and type in your questions right now. Okay, we got a question from Neil. Kulas, have you experienced creative blocks? If yes, how did you overcome it?
So this is quite interesting. For me, I'm quite lucky because my content kind of is a life story. It's really weird. I'm kind of creating a reality show. I'm just taking what would be happening and putting it out on the internet. I mean, prior to creating content in 2014, I was going around the Philippines in 2013, having very immersive experiences and interacting and learning and getting excited about them and telling to all my friends around the world. So I was actually doing all the stuff offline prior to doing it online. Luckily, what I produce is very open-ended. It can be something that excites me about a food or a new place. I think the creative blocks I run into are if I feel like I'm giving people too much of the same thing. I think, are they getting bored? Are people, they've seen this beach for 2 weeks now. Like, is it so cool to feature the beach? I think what's important is don't allow your creative mind to think what other people want. Just focus on yourself and what you like creating. And as long as you're doing that, I think that's what's important in the end. So I would say yes. I mean, sometimes I get a bit, I wish I could be making something about this. But at the end of the day, it's just, I don't really get too much creative block because I just kind of have fun and enjoy making content.
There you go. And as you mentioned a while ago, you should start with having fun and everything else will follow, right? So there you go. I hope Kulas answered your question, Neil. Okay, next up, we have a question from Edibert Baring. How long should a video be in a content? So how long
can it
be? How short?
So it's really interesting because I used to, the first 2.5 years, all of my video content was like under 5 minutes. I would just go on a trip and I would just go like clip of like the important stuff, like cool food, nice beach, cool volcano, compress it, 5 minutes, cool music, go. And I would leave out all the raw kind of in between. We didn't really focus on it. So that's what I started with. And I found that to be very effective on Facebook. On Facebook, that kind of content seemed to travel far and fast, as opposed to anything long. But then again, I never really made long content at the time because I thought people would be bored. Interesting now, YouTube, I make very long content. We're talking like maybe 18 to 22 minutes per video. And, it's pretty raw. But I also realized that a lot of people enjoy seeing the raw. And it seems like YouTube actually tends to favor a bit more length in your content. I think if you actually look at it, like over 8 minutes tends to do a bit better. If you're talking about vlogging, like in regards to like vlog your day, travel vlog, that kind of stuff. But I mean, short content still does well. I mean, a lot of my old videos on YouTube are really short too. They were just the same ones I put on Facebook. I re-uploaded them on YouTube, and they were short. And but I would say that don't think about making your content a specific time. Think about what you're making, and at the end of it, if you like it, who cares? Like rock and roll. But definitely when it comes to YouTube, it seems to be a little bit longer, tends to do better in the vlogging world.
There you go. See, so depends. It really depends. Feel it out, I guess. I would say, yeah. Like I'm not a content creator like you, but I mean, as a viewer, as someone who loves watching vlogs, I watch a lot of your vlogs as well. I think putting it also when I like watching things when I'm doing my chores. So if it's long, it's better for me. You know what I mean? Like I
I
hear
get it.
you
Yeah.
talk and like I see your experiences on the video. So yeah, that's just my take on this. We have another question from Rachel. She says, during this pandemic, did you find it hard to create content and how did you combat that?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm a very pasha, lag, kind of person, right? Like I like to go, rock on. You know, it makes me happy, it gets me energized. Pandemic hit during Kegi and Dioro, and we just are in this house. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna be in this house for a while. Actually, what was really interesting is it was kind of fun because I'd never been stationary for so long. So again, I think it's important to try and look at when you're creating content, having the ability to diversify it a tiny bit, because that also gives you the ability to adapt whatever's happening in your life. So for me, I always made sure to like have a big umbrella where there's lots of content I could put under it. You know, I can go food, I can go my thoughts and feelings, I can go travel, I can go connect with people. So pandemic hits, obviously not the best to go travel around and connect with as many people as I can. So I mean that slows down quite a bit. So I just focus a bit more on my life at home, while I like Kegi Dioro, cooking some stuff, and then we transitioned to Catio, a different environment. But again, after a while, we were just at the beach all the time. I'm sure some people were like, can you mix it up? But I would just mix it up with what I have around me. So yeah, I mean, again, try not to just be, if you're creating content, I would say it will really help you if you have the ability to allow your content to diversify a bit. So when you get stuck in a situation that is different than the norm, you can just adjust easier, as opposed to, oh no, I have to do this. This is what my audience is always expecting.
There you go. Okay. Last two questions. I think we have time for two more questions from Janish. She says, when you meet random people in your vlog, do you usually inform them that they will be on YouTube?
Super good question. Oh my gosh. So when I do talks in the real world, not in the Zoom world, one thing I always do is I jump off the stage with a camera and shove it in people's face, because that's what's happening so often now. And it is actually it can be very inappropriate. Like it's invading people's space.
Yeah.
So even now, what I really try and do is, before flicking on the camera, I try and establish, hey, is it okay? Even by saying that, pretty cool film, like, can I film? Sure, okay, cool. Or I kind of feel a situation. So I'll be in a situation for a bit. Now, as for like, not everything, you're not always going to be a perfect creator. And sometimes maybe something will happen and you film it and it's gnarly and maybe, but I think for the most part, if somebody was really uncomfortable about it, they hopefully would tell you, and then you would just exclude them from being, in on the internet or in your content. But I definitely think something that should be discussed in the future more, for all content creators and all just human beings in general, is being a bit more, what's the term for it, cautious in just filming everything, because we're becoming a society now where, I mean, when I started doing vlogging, there was no vlogging. The term didn't exist. 2014, there's no such thing as vlogging.
Yeah.
Now it's like the trendiest term. Everybody's vlogging or knows what vlogging is, even in very rural areas. I was in like a super bukid area of Talaingo the other time, like a few weeks back. Everybody knew I was a vlogger and that there's vlogging. And I'm just like, whoa, okay. So, I mean, that's good because people know what to expect. So they'll probably be like, hey, this guy's going to film stuff and put it on. That's cool. We're cool with it. But on the flip side, we shouldn't always expect that it's always okay.
Yeah.
And we have to be aware of people's, especially here in the Philippines, diverse country, cultures shift. People might not find it appropriate, based on a lot of things. So I think just try and ask, try and read the situation. If you fail, hey, just be apologetic, that kind of thing.
Yeah, consent is really still a thing. You know what I mean? And we should always respect people's privacy. So,
Totally.
okay, last question. I really like this question as well. From Rani Rubilios. Describe Philippines to someone who's never been to the country.
Okay. It's 100 countries in one, a lot of islands, has absolutely everything except for snow. And it doesn't, you have to find your niche here. So if you don't think you like it, you probably just haven't found your niche, because there's something for everybody here. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. The tourism department rocked it when they did that "It's more fun in the Philippines" slogan a long time ago. It's a very fun country, very diverse. But I really believe too, if anybody tells me I didn't like the Philippines, my response is you just didn't find what you like, because you can find it here. You just have to look.
There, yes, and there's Bighani here in the Philippines. Yes. All right. Thank you so much, Kyle, for sharing everything that you wanted to share with us. And I'm sure that everyone learned a lot from you. There are a lot more questions. So guys, if you want Kyle to answer your questions, maybe you can hop on his YouTube channel or his Instagram. Send him questions over there.
Yeah, go to my Facebook page, Becoming Filipino. PM the page. Before you ask the question, just put a big star asterisk thing, like, dude, I was in your Zoom. And then I'll make sure to try and prioritize it. If I don't get back to you right away, I'm sorry, but I'll try and prioritize it. Okay, just put Zoom, just put it at the top, and then ask your question. Cool.
Thank you so much, Kyle, and thank you for reminding us that us as Filipinos, we should also strive to become Filipino. That's really very, very important for us as well. Thank you so much, Kyle, for spending time with us.
Salamat. Thank you, everybody.
Salamat. Before we close the workshops, I just want to remind you all that Hometown Glory Online Vertical Storytelling Contest ends on June 15th, 2021. So you get to show the beauty of your hometown and get a chance to win an iPhone 12 Pro Max, MacBook Air M1, or both. And if you are interested, go ahead and visit www.powermaxcenter.live for more information. And that's it, you guys. Our 2-day online workshop series has come to an end. I just like to thank Power Max Center and the team behind this amazing initiative for having me host your amazing event. And I hope that you guys enjoyed as much as I did. And I hope that you take what you learned from our brand ambassadors and partner organizations into action. Let this be the start in transforming your passion into practice. This has been Danny Mortel, your host, wishing you health and safety during these times. At sana'y makita ninyo ang bighani ng buhay kung nasan man kayo sa mundo. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe.